We assume that, like most people, you begin your day doing so during a live with Kelly and hello, Mark. But do Mark and Kelly Ripa. Consuelos is genuinely doing a live broadcast of this week, Thursday's program, not unlike previous episodes that aired 2 weeks ago, was seriously logged beforehand, presently available. The show included previously aired interviews, including Sophia Loren, Anthony Anderson, Linda Cardellini, Carson, and A Great Big World's musical composition. Consuelos and Ripa also received support, cast while being joined by special hosts Jerry, Carson Kressley, David Muir, Unel, and, with the addition of Steve Patterson, the roster of acting as Mark's substitutes throughout the week of, in the middle of filming a project on July 29th on the West Coast. If you believe Ripa, she was absent the week after, abandoning. The show will be hosted by Consuelos and Jennifer Dewan, Jackie Tone, Rita Ora, and L. Those of Duncan and Katie Lowe. Time constrained. States that Mark's and Kelly's Live successfully attracted 2.2 million viewers the week of July 21st, marking the most effective weekly program functionality since the month of April. Regarding June, feedback on the show's weekly ratings bump quoted a production insider who verified that members of the live family are present moment is during their yearly summer time off. The good news is that each episode, show while this break is ongoing, is updated to include new content, including the Presenter Converses. This week's viewers, in search of the typical live conversation and new interviews with famous people from Live with Kelly and Mark, just discovered a pre-recorded episode instead. You aren't the only one. So far, the series, rebroadcasting previously recorded parts in this week's interviews, and the rationale is unexpectedly simple. It must be the program's yearly summer break, and the two hosts have both been putting in short stints away from the desk of the anchor. Viewers should know that this results in a roster of guests, co-hosts, previously taped interviews, through a brief, expected lull in the game's live broadcast schedule, presenting thorough examination describing precise nature of the situation involving the program, hosting duties, and upcoming episodes. Throughout that time, the way that ratings have been popular during the summer and what followers can eagerly await the day that Mark and Kelly Ripa back at the live desk. Consuelos. First and foremost consideration when an episode that wasn't broadcast live program is still on the calendar. Also, the hosts haven't left the target demographic. Alternatively, manufacturers airing material that has already been recorded, discussions, presentations, and now and then host interviews that have been taped. During this time, the primary host of the show has a certain time to relax. It is timetable staple for the program and is, as said by those involved in the production, the summer hiatus of the show. Mark and Kelly aren't missing. They are having a well-organized holiday while the daytime program's machinery keeps running. That difference is crucial because live talk shows that are syndicated rarely turn completely black. The show is also demands content to keep the weekdays occupied, session duration, and producers opt to keep going instead of stopping. This combined effort yields a week of applications with some repurposed content component of freshly shot works crafted to remain engaged with the audience during, providing a break for the hosts. On the show that disappointed a number of spectators to inquire, is this live? The show showcased a segment of previously filmed musical performance and interviews. Discussions were on the agenda for that day, with Sophia Carson and Anthony Anderson, Linda Cardellini's visit, along with a show by A Bigger Big World, documents that had been previously taped and repackaged for airing that day. When you watch an episode of the show, the roster that is available for those specific dates. For what reasons should you repair clips, interviews that were recorded instead of departing someone's time? Derived from an opera viewpoint, it is effective and friendly to viewers. The interview transcripts remain relevant to the news and amusement value, particularly when they host famous people. Adding to that, for the reason that it is syndicated nationwide. Several regional marketplaces offering taped segments airtimes can be used in new ways without becoming obsolete. Viewers who are looking for instant gratification on any given workday, it could seem like a letdown. And yet, for a great many more, carefully selected highlights and well-known faces were suitable, assuming that either the hosts step away, live welcomes, revolving array of guest co-hosts. It has, of the year, those replacements have comprised celebrities such as Jenna Dewan, Jackie Tone, Katie Lowes, Al Duncan, and Rita Ora. Everyone alternates shifts at the desk next to Mark while Kelly was on vacation. In the past, due to Mark's prior obligations at work, while in the City of Angels, other famous people, like David Muir, Jerry Unnell, Steve Patterson, Carson Kressley, took over to ensure the show continued without issue. Thanks to these changes, it provided up-to-date information and stability throughout the time that the main hosts were away from the spotlight. With its revolving host model, Move, the host model that spins around has relocated well beyond the scope of a temporary solution for upon the regular host illness call-in. Recently, and into the future, most notably from 2024 until 2025 season, it has transformed into a supporting cast member of the program. Rather, rosters are more indicative of stability. Shifts are now a strategic way to maintain a flexible framework that permits the principal ability to uphold a long-term harmony between workplace and personal life. One thing that Kelly Ripa has said is, after a long period of time in the early hours of the day on television, the financial plan, the mechanism of the magic trick, to know the exact reason behind your visit to a set to air at a later date on a Thursday is the day when you must examine the timetable for manufacturing that the typical audience never observes. The winning combination of the process of living with Kelly and Mark, referred to as banking within the sector. While the show is designed to be seen every morning, coffee talk, filming reality, schedule is significantly shorter. In light of, at the end of 2025, the sources of production reveal what the show usually does is shorten filming week, frequently filming every day on Mondays and Tuesdays, as well as on Wednesdays. Just follow these steps. Regarding Kelly and Mark may have the opportunity to record the program starting at 9 a.m. up until 10 in the morning, midnight Eastern Standard Time. The presenters don't go home as soon as the live audience leaves. Rather than that, they frequently switch up their outfits, switching between suits and dresses to set the mood for a new day and refresh the stage. The crew either welcomes a new audience or keeps the old one around to tape an episode for the following Thursday or Friday while entertaining them with further warm-up comedy and snacks. Later in the week, this episode that has been banked will be aired. The hosts can take advantage of long weekends or focus on Mark's acting jobs or their production company endeavors without worrying about the show going black. In addition, it clarifies the live deception that annoys attentive viewers when the hosts claim that it is Thursday, October 10th. But you see that they are still rocking the same jewelry or sporting the same hairstyle as they had on Tuesday. Here you can see how this banking strategy is coming apart. In the chemistry lab, when and why guest hosts are useful. Kelly and Mark's week-long absence turns the show into a chemical lab. Having different guest co-hosts on the show isn't merely a seating arrangement. The key is to change the vibe in the room. Kelly and Mark's interaction is based on marital shorthand. They can complete each other's sentences telepathically. They've been through the same thing as parents, and it's easy for them to pick fights about petty things like who snores or who loads the dishwasher. Longtime admirers love it because it's familiar, warm, and voyeuristic. But when that elderly couple steps in as guest hosts, the excitement is supplanted by something more abrupt and erratic. As an example, consider Anderson Cooper. The tone goes straight from family comedy to cocktail party as soon as the CNN anchor takes the co-host seat. A level of ridiculousness and belly laughter are allowed by Cooper and Ripa's long-standing friendship. Ripa regularly makes fun of Cooper for his pale skin or laughing fits, which you just don't get with Mark. It's an unconventional kind of intimacy that rouses the audience. Next, there's Jerry Unnell, whose high-octane energy is unmatched. O'Connell is the daytime television equivalent of Mark Consuelos, the calm and collected leading guy. He is physically expressive, enthusiastic, and quick to please in his hosting manner. He acts as if each segment is the greatest thrilling event in history. Frequently, he would jump up and down from his chair or dive headfirst into audience interactions. An episode of O'Connell is like a shot of espresso for a viewer accustomed to the casual pace of a typical Kelly and Mark episode. For the show to last, these changes are essential. By doing so, they keep the everyday format from getting old. The ratings imply that people will keep watching to see out how the chemistry experiment turns out with a new variable, the audience's verdict, and the live dispute, regardless of whether they complain about Mark or Kelly's absence. A new kind of viewer complaint has emerged as a result of the dependence on pre-recorded content, notwithstanding the strategic advantages. There is a lot of tension around the title of the show. Exists independently. The term live conjures up images of a connection in real time for some viewers. Because they are all experiencing the same cultural mood, weather, and news at the same moment, they tune in to spend the morning with the hosts. That link is broken when an episode that was recorded 3 days ago airs. The rain outside the viewer's window doesn't match the weather talk. Now that the news cycle has progressed on, the once hot topic feels a little stale. The pre-recorded dates have many fans feeling tricked or betrayed, and their remarks can be found all over social media and forums. The most annoying things happen when the live graphic stays on screen throughout a pre-recorded show, or when the opening presenter talks about a lovely morning when a blizzard is raging on the East Coast. The ratings data, on the other hand, reveal a more nuanced picture. Although some people are making noises about how annoyed they are, the vast majority are just staring. The decline cut for previously recorded programs is statistically insignificant and, in certain instances, can even boost viewership, depending on the guest star, of course. It appears that the majority of viewers care more about the familiarity of the host than they do about the broadcasting technology behind the live franchise. The quality of the recording is more important than the timing as long as Kelly, Mark, or a suitable replacement are present to offer an hour of entertainment. Things to look forward to in late 2025 and early 2026. This hybrid model will likely become more stable, rather than evaporate entirely, as we progress through the 2025 to 2026 season. Live streaming every day of the year is quickly becoming a thing of the past, according to industry experts. Due to the cutthroat nature of the television industry and the war for talent, adaptability has become the currency of choice.